Ever get that, like, little jolt of panic when you hit send on a big online payment? Like, did I get the account number right?
Oh, yeah.
Now, times that feeling by, I don't know, 1,000 when you're talking cryptocurrency where there's no oops, undo button.
Right. No takebacks.
So today we're going deep on blockchain security, specifically FIO protocol, and this thing called address poisoning.
Ooh, that sounds nasty.
It kind of is.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
We got a whole stack of articles for this one.
All right.
A couple news stories, even a clip from DevCon in Bangkok to unpack.
Oh, we're going deep.
So strap in. This deep dive is all about keeping your crypto journey a whole lot safer.
And this isn't just for, like, the crypto whales, right?
Right.
This stuff affects everyone.
Totally.
Someone just starting out with a little Bitcoin, all the way up to, DeFi experts. Understanding these concepts can literally mean keeping your crypto or
losing it all.
Yeah.
It's like learning to swim before you jump into the deep end of the pool.
Okay, so address poisoning.
Yeah, let's talk about that. It does sound kind of nasty.
Yeah.
And it kind of is. Basically, attackers sneak fake transaction entries into your wallet history.
Oh, sneaky.
And these entries look almost identical to the real ones.
So you're saying they're hoping you'll just, like, accidentally...
Yeah, they're banking on you not really paying attention.
Oh, okay.
You copy and paste what you think is the right address, but it's their address, and
Yeah.
poof.
God.
It plays on how our brains work too, right?
Uh-huh.
We tend to just skim those long crypto addresses.
Oh, wait, just check the beginning, the end. Yeah.
And that's what they're exploiting.
So they make the start and the end.
Yep. Super similar to the real deal.
Oh, wow.
Crypto Potato covered a case where someone lost, get this, $68 million in WBTC because of this.
68 million.
Yeah. Just copy paste, gone.
Ouch.
Like a really expensive copy paste.
Yeah.
But it's not just some random mistake. It's a deliberate attack.
This is scary stuff.
It is. And Crypto Potato mentions other examples too.
Oh, really?
Yeah. SafeWallet and Kraken users, 2 million and 1 million USDT lost. Just like that.
So this address poisoning, it's like a real threat.
Very real. This isn't a one-off thing. It kind of highlights the need for, I don't know, like better solutions.
Yeah, going beyond just be more careful.
Right, because humans make mistakes.
We do.
So how do we design systems that, lessen the damage?
Minimize it, yeah.
That's where FIO protocol comes in. Imagine sending crypto, but instead of those long addresses, it's more like...
Like an email address.
Exactly. Username at domain.
Way easier to remember.
And way harder to mess up.
Oh, I see.
And that's FIO's goal.
So make it as simple as sending an email.
Yep. And these, they're called FIO handles, these human-readable names. They work across multiple blockchains.
Multiple. Oh, that's cool. Simplifying things.
Big time. Coin Bureau did a review of FIO, and they said it perfectly. They said FIO is to blockchain what, like, a graphical user interface was to those old clunky computers.
I remember those days. Command line.
It's what makes it usable for, everyday people.
And not just about convenience.
Right.
It's about, like, security at its core.
Yes. Making it harder to typo, harder to fall for those poison attacks. FIO handles could save people a lot of headaches.
And money.
A lot of money.
Yeah.
In that DEF CON video, the FIO representative actually uses a story about someone losing $26 million as an example
Oh, wow.
of what they're trying to prevent.
Yeah, those stories are sadly becoming way too common.
Way too common. Oh, speaking of that $26 million mistake,
Oh, yeah, let's talk about that.
this trader goes by Quelpteth online. He accidentally sent his, it was his ETH, to a safe module contract instead of his own safe.
Classic copy-paste.
Classic. And the worst part, that money basically gone forever.
Oh, man. The thing that makes blockchain so great
The permanent.
can also be its, downfall in these situations.
Cointelegraph and Deal News, they both covered the story.
Yeah, I think I saw that.
The guy's offering a $2.6 million reward if anyone can recover his funds.
Wow.
His comment about Max Payne really sums it up.
It does. It really shows how much potential blockchain has,
Yeah.
but also how far we still have to go to make it, like, truly user-friendly.
We need solutions that bridge the gap between this, powerful tech and how people actually use it.
Absolutely. The whole incident brings up some big questions about, like, relying on smart contract bugs or even legal action to get funds back.
Right. Not always possible.
No. Even though Renzo's contract was upgradable, they said they couldn't help regulatory concerns.
So it seems like FIO Protocol is trying to solve a major problem in the crypto world.
For sure.
But how does it actually work?
Yeah, what's going on under the hood?
It's not just magic, right?
Well, there's some tech wizardry involved. First off, it's got its own blockchain, the FIO chain.
Hmm.
This is what makes it work across all those different crypto networks.
Okay, so that's the key.
And those FIO handles, they're actually NFTs.
Wait, NFTs, like digital art and...
Yeah, and collectibles.
So my FIO handle would be like a unique...
A unique, verifiable asset.
that I actually own.
That you own, exactly. No central authority can just take it away.
That's pretty cool.
And because it's an NFT, it can be traded or sold just like any other NFT.
So it's not just a username, it's a piece of digital property.
Yep.
But how does that work with sending and receiving crypto across all these different blockchains?
Right, well, remember the FIO chain. That's the key. When you send crypto using a FIO handle, the transaction details get recorded on the FIO chain.
Ah, I see. So it's like a universal translator for crypto transactions?
You got it.
Okay, but what about privacy?
Mm.
If my transaction details are on a public blockchain, doesn't that mean anyone can see them?
Well, that's where encryption comes in. FIO uses something called Diffie-Hellman encryption. Creates a shared secret between the sender and the receiver.
So it's like a secret code.
Yeah, only those two people can understand.
So even though it's recorded on the blockchain, the details are hidden
Yeah.
from prying eyes. That's good. Okay, you mentioned some extra features too. FIO requests sounded interesting.
Yeah, so imagine you're like a freelancer, you need to invoice a client.
Yeah.
Instead of sending them a long, complicated crypto address, you send a FIO request. It includes your handle, the amount, any other details, invoice number, description, whatever.
Streamlined crypto, PayPal, or Venmo, basically.
Exactly.
And this goes through the FIO system.
Yep. It integrates with a lot of different crypto wallets, so the client can just approve it, couple clicks, no copying and pasting long addresses.
Way less room for error. Big time saver, especially if you're juggling, multiple clients, invoices.
Makes crypto feel more usable for, like, everyday business.
For sure. Okay, what about FIO data? What are some examples of how that could be used?
So let's say you're donating crypto to a charity.
Okay.
You could use FIO data to add a note explaining what the donation's for.
Like for earthquake relief or...
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
In memory of whatever.
So it brings that level of detail and context you don't normally get with crypto.
Right. Transparency and accountability.
Can be super helpful for tracking those donations, maybe even for taxes.
For sure. Or imagine a business sending a payment to a supplier. They could include the invoice number, purchase order info, all that.
Makes record keeping much easier.
On both sides.
So bringing that familiar level of detail from, like, traditional finance.
Yeah, into the crypto world.
To make it more mainstream.
Oh.
Okay, last one. NFT signatures. Explain it to me like I'm 5.
Okay, so let's say you have a super rare, super valuable NFT.
All right.
With FIO NFT signatures, you digitally sign that NFT using your FIO handle, like putting your own special stamp on it.
So it's proof that I, the owner of that FIO handle, am the owner of that NFT.
Exactly. And it's recorded on the blockchain, permanent, impossible to tamper with, helps prevent counterfeiting, makes it easy to verify the NFT's history.
That's a really smart feature.
As digital ownership becomes more important,
Yeah.
this adds that extra layer of security and trust.
Okay, I'm starting to get it. So FIO isn't just about replacing complicated addresses. It's about creating a whole set of tools to make transactions safer, more transparent, and way more user-friendly.
It's about making the crypto world more human-centered. But of course, like with any new tech,
There are always challenges, right?
always
Yeah.
questions to consider.
Like, how does FIO stack up against other naming systems? And what about the FIO token itself?
Good question.
I need to talk tokenomics.
Absolutely. FIO isn't the only player in the game. And that FIO token, yeah, it has a big role to play in the whole ecosystem.
All right, let's get down to it. What are the challenges and opportunities facing FIO?
Well, first, competition. FIO isn't the only one out there doing this whole blockchain naming thing. There's, for example, the Ethereum name service.
Yeah, ENS is pretty popular,
Yeah.
especially in the Ethereum world.
Mhm.
So how does FIO differentiate itself? What makes it unique?
One big advantage is that it's designed to work across multiple blockchains. Remember, FIO handles aren't just for Ethereum.
Right.
Way more flexible, future-proof.
That's important. The crypto world is becoming more interconnected all the time.
It is.
A naming system that works across different chains, that's a big plus.
Huge.
But ENS has that first mover advantage.
True.
It's already built into a lot of wallets and dApps.
Yeah, they have a strong foothold, especially in the Ethereum community.
Right.
But here's the interesting thing. MetaMask.
Oh, yeah.
One of the most popular Ethereum wallets.
Tons of people use that.
They're working on integrating third-party naming systems.
Oh, so that could be huge for FIO.
Exactly. Once that happens, FIO could gain a lot of traction.
So it's a bit of a waiting game right now.
It is.
But the potential is there.
Big time.
What other challenges does FIO face?
Well, like with any new tech, adoption is always a hurdle. Getting those wallets and dApps to integrate FIO is crucial.
Right.
And that takes time, effort. It's the chicken and the egg.
It is. Users want things that are widely integrated.
Yeah.
But those integrations only happen when there are enough users who want it.
So how is FIO tackling that?
Being proactive, working directly with wallet providers, developers.
Right.
They even have like an incentive program,
Mm-hmm.
reward early adopters, and they're always improving the protocol, adding features.
So they're taking the right steps. But let's be real, incentives only go so far.
For sure.
Users need to see the value.
They do. And I think the value proposition with FIO is pretty clear.
Yeah?
Safer transactions, easier, more accessible. That's powerful.
Yeah.
But we do need to address the elephant in the room, the FIO token.
Okay, let's talk tokenomics. What's it used for, and why should people care?
The FIO token is basically what makes the whole ecosystem tick, used for a few key things. First, transaction fees on the FIO chain. Every time you register a handle, send a request, use FIO features, small fee paid in FIO tokens.
So like gas fees on Ethereum.
Yep, exactly.
Makes sense. What else?
You can also stake FIO tokens. Oh, okay. Earn rewards, help secure the network, encourages people to, hold on to the token.
Staking is popular these days.
Very popular. And then FIO tokens are also used for governance. Token holders get to vote on, proposals, how the protocol develops, all that.
So like say in the future of FIO, pretty standard model for decentralized projects.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, some people might see the FIO token as just another altcoin to gamble on, right?
Sure, there's always going to be speculation, but the FIO token actually has utility.
Right.
It's not just some speculative asset. It's part of a working ecosystem.
And as that ecosystem grows,
The demand for the token should go up.
right, basic supply and demand, so
Yeah.
more people using FIO,
They'll need more tokens to pay fees, to stake, to participate in governance.
which could push the price up. So there's a potential investment case for FIO as well.
Potentially.
But just to be clear, we're not offering financial advice here.
Not at all.
Do your own research before making any investment decisions. Absolutely. We're just sharing insights, whether or not to invest in FIO. That's a personal decision.
Right.
But I think it's worth taking a closer look at what they're building.
I agree. They're tackling real-world problems, and they're doing it in a really smart, innovative way.
For sure. And there's another important aspect of FIO we need to look at. Its governance structure.
The age-old question. Who's really in control? Time to get into the politics of FIO.
All right, let's break it down. How are decisions actually made in the FIO world?
Yeah, lay it on me.
At the core, you have block producers, BPs.
Okay, BP.
These are the folks running the nodes, validating transactions on the FIO chain.
So like miners in Bitcoin.
Yeah, or validators in proof-of-stake systems.
Got it. So what makes FIO's governance different?
Well, they use a system called delegated proof-of-stake,
Oh.
DPoS.
Okay.
Means everyone who holds FIO tokens gets to vote for a set of BPs to, represent them.
So it's like a representative democracy, but for the FIO blockchain.
Exactly.
Interesting. But who are these BPs and how are they chosen?
Anyone can become a BP, but you got to be elected
Okay.
by the token holders.
So it's competitive.
Oh, yeah. Top 21 BPs with the most votes, they become the active validators, producing blocks, earning rewards, all that.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
But what's to stop a small group from, controlling most of the votes?
That's a valid concern with any DPoS system.
Right.
But FIO has some things in place to help prevent that. First, there's a limit on how much voting power any one entity can have.
So even if someone owns a ton of FIO tokens,
Right.
they can't just force their way through every decision.
Exactly.
Good to know. What else?
There's also this system of standby BPs.
Standby BPs.
Yep, they're ready to jump in if an active BP becomes unreliable or, tries to do something shady.
So like a backup team.
Exactly, just
Yeah.
in case of emergency.
Smart. But who decides what changes are made to the protocol itself? Is it just the BPs?
Not entirely. Anyone can submit a proposal for a change. They're called FIO improvement proposals, FIPs. The community reviews them, and then the BPs vote.
So it's a collaborative process. Community put forward ideas.
Yep.
BPs make the final call.
Right.
Which raises another question. Who decides which proposals are the most important?
Good question. That's where the FIO Foundation comes in.
Ah, okay. Tell me more about them.
It's a nonprofit dedicated to developing and growing the FIO protocol.
So they kind of guide the direction.
In a way, yeah. They can choose to support and prioritize certain proposals that align with their overall vision for FIO.
So they have some influence,
They do.
but not complete control.
Right. It's a balance of power, probably a good thing in a decentralized system.
Yeah, makes sense.
The goal is to have a system that's responsive to what the community needs, but also has a clear long-term vision.
Sounds like they put a lot of thought into their governance model.
They have.
But ultimately, the proof is in the pudding. Only time will tell how well it works in practice.
True. Any governance system is an ongoing experiment, but the fact that they're actively talking to the community, asking for feedback.
That's a good sign.
It is.
So FIO Protocol.
Hmm.
It's user-friendly. It works across multiple blockchains. It's got some cool features. And it seems to have a pretty well thought-out governance structure.
Mm-hmm.
But is it perfect?
No system is perfect.
Are there any, downsides? Potential risks?
Of course. Let's take a look at some of the potential drawbacks, some of the challenges that FIO faces. One thing that some people worry about is its reliance on a separate blockchain, the FIO chain.
Hold on. Isn't that a good thing?
Yeah.
Doesn't having its own blockchain give it more control and flexibility?
Well, yes and no.
Okay.
It does to a certain extent, but it also means that FIO is completely dependent on the security and stability of its own chain.
Right. So if something were to happen to the FIO chain,
Like a major outage, a successful attack, yeah.
it could disrupt the whole ecosystem.
Exactly.
That's a good point. It's another layer of complexity and potential risk.
It is.
But I guess, any blockchain system faces those same risks.
True. And the FIO team, they're experienced. They've got a solid security model in place. But it's something to consider. Another potential downside is the cost of using FIO.
Wait, didn't you say they give you free transactions when you register a handle?
You do. You get a set to start with.
Okay.
But once those are used up, you got to pay transaction fees in FIO tokens.
Ah, so there's an ongoing cost. How much are those fees?
They're pretty low, actually, especially compared to some other blockchains.
Okay.
But they can add up, if you use FIO a lot. And the price of FIO tokens can go up and down, which can obviously impact the cost of those transactions down the line.
Something to keep an eye on then, especially for businesses that are using FIO for a lot of transactions.
Sure.
What other potential downsides should we be aware of?
Well, one of the big challenges for FIO, and honestly for any project in this space, user education.
Right.
The idea of blockchain naming systems, it's still relatively new. And it can be a bit confusing.
It can. A bit of a mental shift, right?
Yeah.
Replacing those long cryptic addresses with names that are actually readable.
Yeah, exactly.
How is FIO dealing with this?
They're putting a lot of effort into, educational resources, working with partners to make the whole onboarding process as easy as possible. But it's an ongoing thing. Like anything new, it takes time for people to get comfortable with it.
Absolutely. Making these complex concepts easy to understand is so important if we want to see mass adoption. Anything else to consider?
Well, there's a question of centralization. While FIO is designed to be decentralized, the FIO Foundation does play a pretty significant role in the ecosystem.
Right. We talked about their influence on governance.
Yeah.
But to be fair, most blockchain projects have some kind of foundation or core team involved.
Right.
It's always a balancing act between decentralization and, having the coordination to get things done.
It is, and it's something that the FIO community is actively discussing. They're always looking for ways to further decentralize the project, reduce that reliance on the foundation.
So it's a work in progress. But the fact that they're open about these discussions, that they're actively working towards more decentralization,
It's a good sign.
it is.
Transparency and community involvement are so crucial in this space.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It builds trust.
For sure.
So to wrap up our look at FIO Protocol so far, it seems like it offers a lot of potential benefits.
Mm-hmm.
Increased security, improved user experience, a more, human-centered approach to crypto transactions. But like any technology, it has its limitations and challenges.
That's right. It's not a silver bullet.
Right.
And even with tools like FIO, it's important to remember that personal responsibility is still paramount.
That's like wearing a seatbelt in a car.
Yeah.
Seatbelts are a great safety feature,
Right.
but they only work if you actually use them. And even with a seatbelt on, you still need to drive carefully, be aware of your surroundings.
Exactly. It doesn't matter how secure a system is, there's always going to be an element of personal responsibility. And in the world of crypto, where transactions are irreversible, that responsibility is even more important.
So what are some key takeaways for our listeners today? What do we want them to remember from this deep dive into FIO protocol?
I think the most important thing is to, approach the crypto world with a healthy dose of skepticism and caution. Don't believe everything you read online. Do your own research before, investing in anything, sending your crypto anywhere.
And remember, if it sounds too good to be true,
It probably is.
there are scams out there.
Mm.
Phishing attempts.
Yeah.
Stay vigilant, protect yourself.
Absolutely. Another key takeaway is that tools like FIO Protocol can really help make crypto more accessible, more user-friendly.
For sure.
But even with those tools, it's still up to you, the user, to stay informed to make smart decisions.
Education is key.
It is. The more you understand about how this technology works, the better equipped you'll be to navigate this whole space.
Right, because it's complex and it's changing all the time.
Rapidly. Then lastly,
Don't be afraid to ask questions.
yeah, there's a huge community out there.
So supportive.
People who are passionate about this stuff, and they want to help others learn.
Exactly.
We hope you've enjoyed this deep dive into FIO protocol, that you've come away with a better understanding of how it works, the challenges it faces, its potential impact on the future of crypto.
It's a fascinating project.
It is. And remember, the crypto world is constantly changing.
It is.
So stay curious, stay informed, and stay safe out there.
The best advice.
Until next time, happy cryptoing.
Happy cryptoing.
It's a tough balance, right?
It is.
We want crypto to be easy enough for anyone to use. But you can't just hold everyone's hand through the whole process.
Right.
They need to learn to think for themselves.
It's like teaching someone to ride a bike.
Oh, yeah.
You could give them training wheels, a helmet.
But at some point, they got to find their balance, learn to navigate on their own.
And yeah, sometimes that means a few scrapes and bruises along the way.
Are sure.
Hopefully minor ones.
Right, and they learn from those mistakes.
Exactly. And that's where, education is so important.
Yeah.
Giving people the knowledge and tools to make good choices in the crypto world.
Yeah.
To understand the risks and how to,
Protect themselves.
protect themselves. Exactly.
That's not just about building user-friendly tools. It's about building a culture of responsibility.
Awareness,
Awareness, yeah, striking that balance.
accessibility, and empowerment.
Making it easy to use, but also empowering people to take ownership of their own security.
Because at the end of the day, it's your money, your crypto. No one's going to care about it as much as you do.
You are ultimately responsible for your financial well-being in the crypto world.
So be smart, be cautious, and don't be afraid to ask questions. There's a huge community out there
A really helpful community.
ready to help guide you along the way.
And it's a space that's constantly changing, too.
Always evolving.
What's considered safe and secure today might be totally different tomorrow.
So stay curious, stay informed.
Never stop learning.
Okay, let's get practical. What are some concrete steps people can take to protect themselves? Besides, being careful doing their research,
Yeah.
what else can they do?
A few things. First, choose a reputable crypto wallet.
Okay.
One that has strong security features. Two-factor authentication, multi-signature transaction.
Yeah, those extra layers of protection. Make it harder for, the bad guys to get in.
Exactly. Second, keep your software up to date.
Oh, yeah, that's important.
Wallet providers are always patching vulnerabilities.
Right.
So those updates, they're crucial.
It's like keeping your computer's antivirus software updated.
Exactly. Protects you from those latest threats.
Right.
Third, and this one's super important, back up your seed phrase.
Ah, the master key to your crypto kingdom.
Exactly. Write it down, paper, store it somewhere safe.
And never, ever share that seed phrase with anyone.
Never.
It's the key to your entire crypto world.
And lastly, best advice I can give, keep learning. The more you understand about blockchain, how it works, the better you'll be at, spotting scams.
Avoiding those costly mistakes.
Exactly. There are tons of great resources out there, websites, podcasts,
Articles, videos.
even deep dives like this one.
Hey,
Knowledge is power. And in the crypto world, it can literally mean the difference between financial security and a major financial setback.
so to sum it up, FIO protocol, really promising solution. Potential to make transactions safer, more user-friendly, but even with tools like FIO, personal responsibility is still key.
Absolutely.
Be cautious, do your research, and take steps to protect your crypto.
It's your money. Up to you to keep it safe.
Words to live by. I think we've covered the essentials of FIO protocol in the importance of, being a responsible crypto user.
Taking ownership.
But before we wrap up, there's one more crucial aspect of FIO I think we need to touch on. Its potential downsides, and whether it really lives up to that promise of decentralization.
You're right, no technology is perfect. Let's dig into some of those potential drawbacks, some of the criticisms of FIO.
So let's get right into it. What are some of the potential downsides of FIO that people should be aware of?
Well, one concern that often comes up is its reliance on a separate blockchain, the FIO chain.
Hold on, didn't we say having its own blockchain is a good thing? More control, more flexibility?
To a point, yeah. But it also means FIO is totally dependent on that chain's security, its stability.
Right.
So if something happens to the FIO chain,
Like what?
major outage, successful attack,
Oh, okay.
it could disrupt the whole ecosystem.
That makes sense. Adds another layer of, complexity,
Yeah.
potential risk.
It does. But to be fair, the FIO team is solid, experienced. They've built a robust security model.
Right.
But still, something to keep in mind, another potential downside is cost.
Cost. Wait, you said FIO gives you free transactions when you register a handle?
You do. You get a bundle up front.
Okay.
But once those are used up, you got to pay transaction fees.
In FIO tokens?
Yep.
So there's an ongoing cost to using the system. How much are we talking?
The fees are pretty low, actually, especially compared to some other blockchains.
Okay, good to know.
But they can add up if you're, a heavy FIO user. And the price of those FIO tokens, it fluctuates.
Right.
So that can impact the cost down the line.
So, yeah, definitely something to consider if you're using FIO a lot.
So especially businesses.
Right, if you're handling tons of transactions.
Exactly.
Okay, any other downsides we should know about?
One of the big hurdles for FIO, and really any project in this space, is user education.
Oh, yeah.
Blockchain naming systems are still relatively new.
They are.
And it can be a bit confusing for people new to crypto.
Definitely takes a mental shift to get used to, right? Replacing those long, messy addresses with actual names.
It does. So how's FIO handling that? They're putting a lot of effort into educational resources.
Right, making it easier to understand.
Exactly. And they're working with partners to simplify that whole onboarding process.
It makes sense. But still an ongoing effort, I imagine.
Oh, yeah. It's like anything new. It takes time for people to get comfortable.
Right. But making these concepts easy to understand is crucial for mass adoption, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, anything else?
Well, the question of centralization always comes up with blockchain.
Right.
FIO is designed to be decentralized, but the FIO Foundation plays a pretty big role.
Right, we talked about their influence on governance earlier. But, most projects have some kind of foundation, right? A core team.
They do. It's about finding that balance. Decentralization, but also coordination, leadership to actually get things done.
Right.
And the FIO community, they're actively discussing this.
Good.
Always looking for ways to further decentralize, to reduce that reliance on the foundation.
So, a work in progress.
But
it's good that they're having those conversations, right?
Absolutely. Transparency, community involvement, those are crucial for building trust.
They are. Okay, so to wrap up our deep dive on FIO protocol, it's got a lot of potential benefits, right? Increased security, easier to use, a more, human-centered approach to transactions.
It does.
But like any tech, it has its limitations, its challenges.
No, it's not a perfect solution.
And even with FIO, it's important to remember that personal responsibility.
Still key.
It's like wearing a seatbelt in a car, right?
Oh, yeah. Good analogy.
Seatbelts are a great safety feature, but only if you use them. And even with your seatbelt on, you still got to drive carefully. Be aware.
Exactly. It doesn't matter how secure the system is, you still have a role to play. And in crypto, where you can't reverse transactions, that responsibility is even bigger.
So what are the key takeaways for our listeners today? What do we want them to walk away with after this deep dive into FIO?
Approach crypto with a healthy dose of skepticism, I'd say. Don't just believe everything you read, do your own research, especially before you invest in anything or send your crypto anywhere.
Yeah, good advice. And if it sounds too good to be true,
probably is.
Be wary of scams, phishing attempts, stay vigilant, protect yourself.
For sure. Another big takeaway is that tools like FIO, they can really make a difference, make crypto more accessible, easier.
Right.
But it's still up to you, the user, to stay informed, to make smart choices.
Education is key.
It is. The more you understand about blockchain, the better you'll be able to navigate this whole world.
It's a complex world.
It is, and it's changing all the time.
So stay curious, stay informed, And most importantly,
Stay safe out there.
great advice. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive into FIO protocol. We hope you learned something new and that you're feeling, a little more confident about navigating the world of crypto.
It's an exciting world.
It is full of potential, but also risks. So be smart, be careful, and until next time.
Happy cryptoing!
Happy cryptoing.